Hello, I'm Joshua Alexander, mental health freedom fighter, and today I wanted to talk about managing resources with mental illness. This has been one of the hardest aspects of my journey throughout the whole process. When I first got sick after college, um, I wasn't able to start my career. I wasn't able to start working, and I was just hospitalized and I was put on drugs. And I was struggling with severe depression, especially after being put on the medication, and wasn't able to work. And I was relying on other people, which is difficult because then when you rely on other people, it comes with conditions and expectations. Um, and at that time, not knowing what was causing it or what was happening. It was a very difficult period. But um, even when I was on Social Security disability and I was basically below the poverty line, I was still trying to work on my health. I was still trying to buy healthy food. But the problem is I didn't know what types of food were actually healthy. So I was buying like organic dairy products and eggs and gluten products, which feed the viruses that were contributing to my symptoms. So um, when I learned what was actually causing the illness, then I could shift my strategy and I could start applying those same resources to something that was actually more helpful. So that's the key is at each stage of where we are with our managing our resources, we can learn and we can improve efficiencies and we could as we grow, then we can improve our situation. So um, it's required a lot of sacrifices over the years, not being able to buy things I want, not being able to take vacations that I want, not being able to do fun things. When I was younger, I wanted a motorcycle, which I don't want anymore because they're super dangerous. But I wanted one and I couldn't get one. But my friend who I went to college with, he bought a Ducati Monster motorcycle and he's driving around, living his life, doing what he wants. It's very difficult. I had to sacrifice a lot and I had to just try to focus my resources on the most impactful things. So once I discovered the medical medium information, I was just applying all of my resources to celery, the supplements, the ingredients for the heavy metal detox smoothie, like the wild blueberries. And then I was able to start making improvements and I would try to learn. I would try to observe and learn from my life and the mistakes that I was making and try to learn how to better manage my resources. That's a skill that can be developed. Once I was able to get a pretty good job and start making a little bit better money, I was able to start trying to improve my situation even more, work towards buying a home and work towards putting some money aside in savings. It's just a really long process. So I guess I want people to know that we can make mistakes, we can learn from it. The sacrifice is very difficult. It's very uncomfortable. It hurts a lot, a lot of pain. But over time, you kind of get used to it, and you kind of, it's less agonizing in a way, like almost spiritually less agonizing. It still hurts, but as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, if you're struggling with mental illness symptoms, but um, it's just it's just one of the most difficult aspects of the illness. And still to this day, there's a lot of people that just really don't have the resources that they need. They're trying to get help. There isn't enough help out there. Um, the types of help that are available aren't necessarily the right types of help sometimes. In the government system, there can be some supports, but it basically keeps you in poverty. So yeah, anyone who's struggling with mental illness symptoms and the resources, my heart goes out to you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you have these symptoms. It's not your fault that if you're struggling to try to, have what you need, get the resources that you need. And all we can do is take responsibility. We have to try to learn how to become our own, stewards of our own resources and manage our own resources. Because when we're relying on other people, we we can't have the freedom to necessarily do what we need to do to heal or to live our life the way that we're meant to live it. And it's like when you have a boss at a company, you might think that, this one thing would be really great, but he's like, no, that's not what we're doing. And you're powerless at that point. So, I personally have always tried to take responsibility for myself, look at what I have control over, manage what I have control over, what I can do. And behind closed doors, when I'm in my house or in my room, and no one else knows what I'm doing, I'm making sacrifices. I'm trying to squirrel away resources. I'm trying to learn and improve efficiencies in my life. And it's kind of exciting, even though it kind of sucks sometimes, but it's kind of like an adventure. And once you have the knowledge of the true information, the medical medium information, it's exciting because you can apply yourself, and it's gonna reward. It's gonna produce results. I just knew that every ounce of effort I'm putting into healing with the medical medium information is going to pay off. Whereas before, all of my efforts were just wasted. So I kept trying to build resources and it was just wasted. And I would try to something else and it was just wasted energy, paying for different doctors or different supplements or different clinics, or just wasted time and energy and mental resources. So um, once you have a system of principles, true principles, like the medical medium information, that you can work with, it's much better. You can build a foundation on those principles. You can structure your life around those principles, and you can start growing and building and climbing out of the illness. So just know it does get better. Takes time, takes a long time sometimes. We have to look at the long-term plan. I know when we're suffering, we want it to end today, like this moment, and it sucks, but we have to look at the long-term plan. Maybe it's going to be really uncomfortable for a little period of time, but in 5 years, in 10 years, we have to know that we're going to be in a much better place. We're going to be a lot stronger and healthier, and we're going to, we're going to be better at managing our resources. So I wish you the best. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep healing. God bless you.